Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel Dive in the Words. Today, I have a truly inspiring story to share with you. It's the story of a man who survived one of the darkest chapters in human history, yet chose to live his life with incredible joy and happiness. We're talking about The Happiest Man on Earth, The Beautiful Life of an Auschwitz Survivor, by Eddie Jaku. Trust me, this is a book that will change your perspective on life. But first, let's talk about the author, Eddie Jaku. Eddie, born as Abraham Jakubowicz in 1920, was a Holocaust survivor. After going through unimaginable horrors during World War II, he devoted his life to spreading a message of love, tolerance, and most importantly, happiness. Eddie believed in choosing happiness every day, and he shared that message with the world through his speaking engagements and this incredible memoir. So, let's dive into his life story and the key takeaways from this powerful book. Eddie Jaku grew up in a loving Jewish family in Germany, and life was pretty normal until the rise of the Nazi regime. Things quickly changed for Eddie when he was sent to a boarding school and had to hide his Jewish identity. And then came Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass, which really marked the beginning of the end for Jews in Germany. From there, Eddie's life was a nightmare. He was captured by the Nazis and sent to various concentration camps, including Auschwitz. Now, for those of you who may not know, Auschwitz was one of the most infamous concentration camps during World War II. The conditions were beyond horrifying. Starvation, beatings, and constant fear of death were part of daily life. But even in the middle of all this, Eddie never gave up on humanity. He formed friendships with other prisoners, and it was these bonds that helped him survive. Surviving Auschwitz wasn't just about physical endurance, it was about mental strength too. After being liberated in 1945, Eddie made a promise to himself. He was going to be the happiest man on earth. And you know what? He lived up to that promise. Even after losing nearly everything, Eddie chose to live with gratitude and forgiveness. His story teaches us that happiness is a choice. I mean, think about it. If someone who survived the Holocaust can find happiness, what's stopping us? Eddie's message is simple. No matter what happens, we can still choose to find joy in life. That's a lesson we can all use, especially when life gets tough. One of the core themes in Eddie's memoir is gratitude. He teaches us that even in the darkest moments, there is always something to be thankful for. Eddie's story shows us that happiness isn't about having a perfect life or avoiding challenges. It's about appreciating the little things, the relationships, the kindness we show to others. And then there's forgiveness. Now, I know forgiveness can be a tough pill to swallow, especially when you've been hurt or wronged. But for Eddie, forgiveness wasn't about forgetting the past, it was about freeing himself from hatred and anger, and by doing that, he found peace. It's really an eye-opening perspective, and I think we could all benefit from adopting a bit of Eddie's approach to life. After the war, Eddie moved to Australia, rebuilt his life, and focused on spreading positivity and love. He became a successful businessman, a loving husband, and a father. But what's even more inspiring is how Eddie spent his later years educating others about the Holocaust and the importance of tolerance. He was an active member of the Sydney Jewish Museum, where he shared his story with young people, making sure that history wouldn't be forgotten. Through this book, Eddie Jaku leaves behind a legacy of love, resilience, and joy. His memoir, The Happiest Man on Earth, isn't just a recount of his time in Auschwitz, it's a guide to living a meaningful and happy life. He shows us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond to it. If there's one thing to take away from Eddie's story, it's this: happiness is a choice. Eddie Jaku lived through some of the most horrific events in human history, yet he chose happiness every single day. His book reminds us of the power of gratitude, love, and forgiveness. If you haven't read The Happiest Man on Earth, I highly recommend you pick up a copy. Eddie's story will inspire you, challenge you, and make you appreciate every single moment of your life. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this summary and want more book recommendations and insights, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And let me know in the comments, what's a book that's inspired you to see life differently? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, keep reading and keep smiling.